everybody. Season 4, episode 4, titled Super Mart. I gotta say, what a fantastic episode. I love how it was just a bona fide sequel to season 1, episode 7's the Asylum. I just love how it was just a full-on continuation of that episode's story of just like the organization, like them keeping people prisoners at that area, at the asylum, and how that's where they kept Mother Mayhem after she gave birth to a son who ended up being Sebastian, who, as far as we know, ends up becoming Brother Blood. It just, it all seems to come together with that. It definitely kind of confirms something I've been saying for like most of these videos now, that there's a connection between Brother Blood and Trigon with the whole cult thing. And this episode even confirmed there's a connection between Brother Blood and Rachel. They even flat out said that. They even kind of showed us scenes where the two kind of have a connection of like this evil entity, because for all we know they could be half-siblings at this point. So there's a connection between those two. Of course, the whole Trigon, so they're all connected. And another thing I want to say with the fourth connection piece with Beast Boy, is that like this episode brings up the fact that Sebastian not only worked at a taxidermy, but before that he worked at an aquarium, another animal-based job. So it seems like it can't be a coincidence that Sebastian, who is now the son of Trigon and the son of Mother Mayhem, seems to have an attachment towards animals, and how Gar Logan, obviously being a shapeshifter for animals, seems to have an attachment even more now than ever to animal instincts, being the Red and everything. Now the Red is trying to warn him about this whole prophecy and everything, to the point that he's even keeping track of the lunar cycles to make sure the blood moon is over with and how long it's going to be. I just really, I really adore the fact that they've put Beast Boy in that position. And there's even a small moment where we have Rachel and Gar have a connection where, like, you know, they're at the Super Mart. Gar's being his whole Beast Boy persona, like in the comic books, of just making jokes about the area and everything. And then you have Rachel being the Raven Sirius type, and she's noticing the ravens, just weird how it happens to be ravens in the sky, and how she gets Gar's attention to see that. And it looks like in that scene that Rachel's eyes are a little different, like she's seeing something differently than usual. So, I mean, even though it's not flat out said by Gar or anybody, who's to say that they're not seeing a different color light in the sky as well? We know the ravens lead them to the entrance point that lead them to the security cell, which leads them to the prophecy of like Brother Blood and his relationship to everything. But yeah, it's just very interesting how these two characters per se, like with his animal instincts and her detection of the ravens, how they were both able to lead the team to that area. So again, the connection between all four of these characters still seem to be very present in this episode very much. And with this episode, I do want to say that, like, similar to how I've said in the first 3 episodes, how I like how each episode depicts each member as its own team player and as its own equal individual. I like how this episode very much played into the team aspect, not so much in the aspect of what I just said, but so much in the aspect of everybody was together, everybody was a team. It made it to where my prediction about like Rachel and Gar still being in the tree and still being separated in my prediction video debunked, and just obviously not the case, because everybody all made it back to the RV at the same time. Everybody's together this whole episode. There's like one instance where they split up, and even then they're still in the same area. They're just investigating information about the asylum and why is it still standing, why it became the Super Mart. And of course they get back together anyway. Not long after that, you get to see zombie Deathstroke, which is an interesting twist. I didn't think we'd see Deathstroke, let alone a zombie version of him this early. But it looks like it was just a one-off, so that made it interesting. I do enjoy the fact that Jinx, the character, seems to be showing like a more prominent role, like as if she was always part of the team, with her like magic abilities just coming in handy with the whole zombie Deathstroke climax. and just her whole banter in the RV, just on the way to everything, just just being the I guess, lack of better expression, the comic relief. Even though she's finding the comedy relieving for herself, just take enjoyment of everybody's pain during the whole situation. I like how in the RV they bring Tim and Connor up to date with the whole events that happened in season 1 before they were introduced as characters, about the whole Trigon story and the Asylum story and everything. It really brought that season 1 and season 4 together, and it really kind of shows how, like, even though the events of seasons 2 and 3 have happened, it's really more of a coming together full story with the events that happened in season 1. Further kind of backing up my theory that season 4 part 2 might be about Trigon and him being the big bad. And this is all, like, these 6 episodes is just slowly building up to that, with Mother Mayhem being the catalyst for it. It started off with Lex Luthor finding the area. He was the catalyst for that. Now it's Mother Mayhem and how she's trying to get Brother Blood into the picture. And it just makes it interesting how, like, at the end of this episode, we see Brother Blood being contained for safety. We see Rachel being there, implying that they're going to talk about more things about the organization and what could be happening. And I don't know, it's just very interesting to see that this upcoming episode 5, might very much be about them trying to, like, blockade Star Labs and make it to where Mother Mayhem doesn't come in. And I'm guessing, just based on how the rest of the season goes, because there's still another 7 episodes after episode 5, I'm guessing they failed. She breaks in, something epic happens. I'm pretty sure something with Connor and Magic happens, and who knows? Maybe Jinx might be somewhat portrayal in this upcoming episode. It's just very, like, it was very interesting how this episode was more or less just an investigation episode, and how, like I said initially, it was just a straight up continuation of the episode 7 of the first season, called The Asylum, and how it's just a continuation of that whole story and those events, and just how we find out that Mother Mayhem was again imprisoned there, and how she escaped during their whole events of them burning the thing down in that very episode 7. It's also worth mentioning that, like, I like how this episode did back and forth flashback of Mother Mayhem's origin and present day of them investigating the area. It was kind of like a nice little difference of what season 2 did, where, like, season 2 gave you a bunch of verbal information through conversations about things that happened in the past with the Titans and why things didn't go right with Deathstroke and Jericho. And then they would show you full-on flashback episodes of why, of what the other Titans were talking about, and of why it was a big issue with Deathstroke and Jericho, so you actually see it for yourself. But instead of making that 2 separate episodes, this season did a great job of making it 2 combined episodes with a very connected story, and I definitely enjoyed that. That's more or less my spoiler review of season 4, episode 4 of the Titan Super Mart. I definitely liked it. I think it was it felt a little more filler than the last 3 episodes, but not in the sense of, like, fillers you should skip it, just filler in the sense of, like, not a lot of action happened, but a lot of information that's needed came undone, and that was definitely very important. So I guess it wouldn't. I don't know if filler is the right word or not, but it definitely wasn't as action oriented as the first 3. But I'm not dumbing that down, and I'm not complaining about that either. And with that being said, thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next spoiler review / predictions and speculations video, if they're not the same video. And again, like I said, I hope to see you next time. Enjoy.